Hi students, can you hear my voice? Monica, is my voice audible? Okay, students, can I quickly get a confirmation if my voice is audible? Thank you students. Okay, now students, today let's do the first mock of our class. So the main purpose of doing this mock is just to get the understanding of how to write the answers. And also students, I will be doing the mocks with you all so that you get the initial understanding and the application of how you need to write the answers. So students, Monica, can you take the moderation? Is it possible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So students coming into the application, let's start working students. So the first thing what I want to say is whenever you go to the mock exam, the first thing you need to always observe is the percentages, because this percentages determines the number of content or paragraph that you need to write. Now students, I'll write on here mock one answer for your understanding, because it is essentially important for you to get the application. So the first thing is students, if you see in the examination, one question will effectively total to 25 marks. So 60% of 25 marks will effectively give you an answer of 15 marks. And similarly, if you take 25 marks once again, and if I generally write down here 40% of that, that will effectively give you the breakdown of 10 marks each. So students, you need to understand this. This is a standard way of analyzing the number of marks in the examination. Now, generally, we need to divide the number of marks by 2. So this is just a standard. Actually, 7 paragraph is needed, or 7 like a possible sentences which are detailedly expressed is needed. And here 5 paragraph is needed. So these paragraphs are students, essentially, if you observe, these are generally a standard only. Sometimes you can write at least 2 paragraphs and also score the full marks. Sometimes you can write 3, but this is just the standard because you need to have a direction. So I'll write down here, this is a standard practice. This is a standard practice. This is a standard practice, get this point of view. But in the exams, there can be situations where you can reduce the content based on the relevance. But students, generally, the more detail your answer you have explained, you will be able to score the full marks. So the next point of view, what I want to say is very simple thing, that is how to structure the answer. As you already know how to structure the answer. Now students, if you generally see students who are coming from operational case study, it's a little bit different, because operational case study is very much straightforward, where you need to know the theory aspects very well only. But here you need to know a little bit of technical, that we say as what you need to write about, what do you think, what is just in time, something like that. And then you need to connect it to the business. So that is the why. And why is similar to the piping business, because you need to understand piping is a business in the tea sector. And then the people are generally the stakeholders, that means the people who are interested in the business. And leadership, and leadership is generally, I can specifically say, how is the leadership here. So get this understanding very clearly, students. It's not about just writing a direct answer. It's all about writing the points and the explanation to the sentences as much as possible. So students, if you do not mind, can I quickly get a why in the chat box if you are clear with what I'm saying here, students? Because don't worry, I will guide you more in detail, but just get the understanding, students. The most important thing is the why, because you are a finance manager in this organization. So you need to be very careful that the why element plays a major role. You need to always ask yourself the basic question, why it is relevant to piping. That is critically important. So students get this point of view very, very well. Now let's come into the question. So firstly, please identify and discuss the impact. So identify and discuss the impact on the new developments to the business model of piping. So you need to be able to identify and discuss the impact of the new development to the business model of piping. The next one is secondly, please observe the financial reporting implication we may face in the point of research and development cost. I need you to discuss the challenges with the solutions to overcome. So the first thing I'll write down here, identify and discuss, identify and discuss. So the first thing I will specifically mention is identify and discuss. So I will make it even more easier. So I'll just take out the heading as discussion, discussion, discussion on impact to the business model, impact to the business model of the new development. I don't know what is the new development, students, but I will specifically mention like this so that you need to understand there is some development taking place in the organization, and we need to make sure that how are we going to position our answers towards that development. Secondly, please observe the financial reporting implication which we may face. So there is very directly asking financial reporting implication, that is the accounting implication. In the point of research and development, I need you to discuss the challenges with the solution to overcome. So I'll write down here challenges associated with research and development, and development, research and development, research and development cost in the financial statement. Get this point very, very clearly, students, because this is very much important. Don't take it seriously. This is very much important. And then I can write down here solutions to overcome, solutions to overcome the challenges, solutions to overcome the challenges. So get this point of view very, very well, because this is how the answers structures and goes forward. So students, before moving forward, any questions you have, you can ask me, but get this point of view very, very clearly, students. The structurization of the heading plays a critical role in your examination, so that you will be very much focused with what you need to write. So students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box if this is clear for you? If this is clear for you. Because students, don't write anything outside the scope of the question requirement. And frankly speaking, students, there is nothing to memorize in this exam. It will be definitely a practical based question. You need to associate your points. So Debbie Sarkar has sent you the following mail. There has been a small team formed within piping where they are focusing on developing some new product portfolio. Please refer the reference material for the information. So there is a small team formed within piping. So what they are doing is they are focusing on developing a new product portfolio. So as a finance manager, you need to ask yourself a question. Currently, the only product portfolio we have is what? Black tea. So we are going to focus on a new product portfolio. So it's something that is new for us, but let's see what they are focusing on. So students, coming into this one, the reference material. A small informal team that consists of blenders, factory managers, and key supervisors has formed, and they have generally developed ginger infusion tea. So I will underline the term ginger infusion tea. Okay. This is generally being tested and it feels fine for the market launch. But I need to be very careful on how this may have an impact to the business model. Further, we need to understand how the business can record the cost incurred in the research in the financial statements. I need account and the challenges we may face. Okay, so students, the proposal here at the moment. So this is not an issue. This is a proposal that we are going to go for the ginger infusion tea. Okay, that means the ginger flavored tea. So this is our major point of focus. So students, if you do not mind, can I get a Y in the chat box? If you are getting the application clearly, students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box? If you are getting this application clearly, students. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So now let's do the discussion. So coming to the discussion, now I will start with Monica. Monica, what do you think is your discussion? What do you think the discussion? What is your point of view?
So, as we know, business model, learning and growth perspective, financial perspective,
No,
we
that is
need.
not business model. That's wrong. Students, coming back to the business model, you can mute your mic. Coming back to the business module, it is clearly showing the defining value, creating value, delivering value, and capturing value. So this is the business model, students, which is given in page number 12. And generally in the new syllabus, they always ask a question relating to a proposal and impact to the business model. So let's do the critical analysis at the moment. So piping defines value in terms of needs and wishes of consumers. Piping plays close attention to the feedback from consumers and adapts to maintain popularity of the brand. So they want popularity of the brand and they generally want the feedback from the consumers as well. So I'll ask from Malit. Malit, just asking you a question. What do you think here, Malit? Do you think is it going with the flow of the business model or not with the flow of business model? What is your point of view?
I think so. There is a niche market, target market that which is interested in this type of infusion tea.
Correct. So
Yeah.
I don't think there won't be a bigger issue to the defining value. What do you think?
Yes.
Correct. No. So
Yeah.
since there is also a feedback because they always consumer popularity is very important. So I will just write down the point here. So I'll mention here. So I'll just write down a basic explanation first. Now in the exam day, students, you can see the pre-seen material. You can see the pre-seen material, but you will spend a lot of time. So just try to make sure that you are clear with the business model of this. So I'll write down here the business model, so just a basic introduction. The business model generally consists of how a company can create value to the market, which is generally broken as per defining value, creating value, delivering value, and capturing residual value. So students, get this understanding very much clearly, because this is very important, students. This is very important and very clear as well. So generally, students, nowadays businesses generally will survive only if they create value in the market. So students, I will write down here. So I will just make a note here. Defining value for pixel defining value for pixel will generally focus on the customer needs and feedback. So I'll just make a small quotation from the pre-seen material. Example, a strong tea was developed based on the feedback consumers use 2 tea bags to make a strong tea. Are you clear with that, students? You get the point there. So that's the basic understanding of how you need to connect it, because you are a finance manager. So you need to just connect the relevant things only. Therefore, at the moment, the ginger infusion tea can be an added value. Again, look at the verb I'm using, students. Added value to the product. 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 Get this understanding very clearly, because there can be some niche or a new demand arising for ginger tea, basically for health benefits. For health benefits. Stop. Therefore, we can make sure that the company has a good development of the portfolio. So students, I want to ask one more question in the class, just to make sure that you get the understanding and application. Now, students, if you observe here, it's not something difficult. If you observe here, what I want to say is the marketing director. So Debbie Sarkar is the chief operating officer. Now, if you see the marketing, so I'll write down here Pan Pale, because he is the person who is involved in the marketing. So I will write down here a small note so that you will understand how to use the characters also in the case study. Tan Pale. So I'll write down here Tan Pale can generally review the views in the market for ginger infusion tea. So students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box if you are clear with this explanation, students? If you are clear with this explanation, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I believe that is very clear at the moment. So the next thing what I want to say is, after defining the value, what I am going to write down next is, I'm going to mention, after defining value, the second point is going to be creating value. Creating value. So students, creating value, again, I'll just take you to the business model. So students, observe it. The creating value is, how are you going to do the production? You need to have a vision, and that vision should become a reality. You need to create it. So here they want consumers, whatever the consumers want. So how are they creating it? Piping sources good quality materials for its product and packaging. Piping constantly innovates to maintain the quality of its product and the manner in which they are packaged. So one thing is their sourcing. Sourcing means where you buy the items. So if you see, this one should again be managed, because students, if you observe one thing, this research has been done by our internal team. So we need to make sure that the taste doesn't change. Monica, are you understanding what I'm saying there? Are you clear with what I'm saying? Because that creating
Yes, sir.
value is very important, because that taste is very, very critical. So Malit, are you getting that point of view, Malit, here?
Yes, sir.
Because defining value is very much straightforward. We can go ahead with the product. But when it comes to the creating value, what generally happens is, you need to be able to make sure that you are creating the product which is generally having the standard of piping's original quality. So I will write down here the next one, creating value. So I'll specifically write down so that it will be very clear. Creating value generally consists of the quality, generally consists of the quality of the materials, especially the tea leaves and the flavors, and how they blend the tea in order to maintain the standard of taste. Standard of taste. Get this understanding very clear. This is very much challenging. This is very much challenging since the creation is the product. Therefore, there needs to be proper production process management. Proper production process management. Example, I can specifically write down here, very basic example. What I can write down here, it's not difficult. Production process, therefore there needs to be a proper production process management. Example, total quality management can be implemented as well. Now students, if you are planning like to score a very higher marks in the examination, very higher marks, it's better to mention this Camellia sinensis family. Students, this verb, please don't forget it. Camellia sinensis family. So I'll write down here. Camellia sinensis family herbs, or I can say, correct, right? It is the leaves from that family. Family leaves should be maintained in order to attract consumer base, because students, the consumer base is used to the Camellia sinensis family leaves only. There can be alternative tea leaves as well, but in case if they are going for some alternative tea leaves, that can be a very difficult challenge for the business. So I'll just be very sure and certain that your point of view needs to be very much towards this. So one thing I can generally say is DEBI, so quality management. So I'll write down here uh, the quality management team. The quality management team monitored by DEBI can be generally delegated to maintain the standards, because that's how you need to be very specific here. So we are saying that the creating value generally has an impact. That's a risk, but defining value, not much. So students, any questions you have, you can ask me from the creating value. Creating value explanation is over. Any questions you have, you can ask me. Malik, any questions on creating value?
No, sir.
Monica, any questions? Others, if you are fine with that, you can please put Y.
No, sir.
Others, if you are fine with that, can you please put Y in the chat box? Thank you very much, students. Thank you very much. So just remember this. So the next one is delivering value. Piping market is a product. Product is in clear and relevant manner to maintain the brand loyalty. Piping has an efficient distribution system that ensures that products are readily available. So get the understanding, they have a efficient distribution system. The products are readily available. Now, delivering value, Malik, do you think we will face any issues at the moment when we are doing delivering value?
Currently, we are having a strong delivering system and management system with the key retailers.
Retailers. But one thing, Malit, when the product is new, and can there be a bargaining power from the retailers? Example, since it's a new product, the shelf space they will bargain. You understand
Definitely.
what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
They will say that you need to put it in a better shelf space. That is a very much positive thing. And then
They
the
will not
credit
give
period.
new space, no, sir. They will
They,
ask
they,
us to use
they
the existing space too.
Correct. They will ask us to use the existing space. And also one more thing is the credit period. Since the product is new and it's a ginger product, I don't think it may be going faster as the black tea, practically speaking. It may be a little slower compared with the black tea. So they may ask a little more time period as well. Yes, Douglas, you have raised your hands.
Hello, hi everyone.
Yes, please. Can you tell?
Okay. On delivering value, can we also maybe talk about since it's a new product? Can we talk about the, let's say, product positioning, because we're dealing with a new product? It may be of high quality, but if it is not recognized in the market by the consumers, delivering value.
Delivering value is generally how you connect the product to the reaching of the customer. Quality, everything goes with the residual value. Delivering
Okay.
is your product is going to the customer. How you give it to the customer's hand.
Okay.
Okay.
But in the event that, let's say, the product is not properly positioned,
That
can
will
it
come in
reach
the
to the
residual.
customer now?
That will come into the residual value.
Okay.
Okay, so students, coming back to the explanation, so let's move on to the delivering value. So I'll write down here delivering value as well. Generally, products of pipings are distributed by major retailers. Again, get the explanation properly, students. The pipings products are distributed through major retailers. So I'll write down here, since they have a strong relationship, the process of delivering will be easier because supermarkets will generally accept it. Acceptance point will not be a difficult one. Now I am going to do the discussion. However, students understand properly. However, there can be situations where the company will have to be careful on retaining the shelf space. Because students understand it, it's very important. Consumers must see the product. Therefore, we may need to pay additional fee for a better shelf space. And also, since the product is an infusion, it's not the main product, it's an infusion. The target market will be less compared to the black tea. Therefore, the credit period needs to be extended in order to have a sustainable distribution relationship. Now, students, I'll just take you to the management. So the person who is in charge for the distribution at the moment is whom? Tea buying, production, quality management. So Tanpel only. So I'll write down here. Tanpel wants to provide the details of the product profitability and cost benefit analysis, the point of any additional cost. So students, this is a very difficult area because new product, generally there will be a situation, the domination will be higher from the retailers. So delivering is after you manufacture the product, how you are going to distribute the product, that is delivery. Now coming to the next one, that is the residual value. So before moving to the residual value, any questions with delivering value? Students, any question with delivering value? If you have any questions, you can ask me.
So can we say customer awareness promotion programs? Can we conduct that?
Yes, that's what I put about the shelf space. If I'm not mistaken, you can add that as well. But generally, here it goes with the retailers. So if their shelf space is very closer to the reach of the customers, you can have that awareness program as well. It can be under digital marketing also. So that's a good one. So students, any other questions you have, you can ask me, students. Okay. So can I get a Y in the chat box so that let's move on to the capturing residual value? Can I quickly get a Y in the chat box? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So coming into the capturing, so piping by high quality materials and add value in the manufacturing process in order to justify the premium on selling price. Piping supports growers by paying realistic price. Piping controls the cost through operational efficiencies in manufacturing. So what happens is they are generally maintaining their standard because you need to have a residual value so that you can continue this process. So one is they charge premium, but the main reason they charge premium is the quality. And the second one is what they are generally doing is they are also paying realistic prices to the growers and also operational efficiency. That means their factory is generally managed efficiently. So they are able to sustain financially as well. So students, can I get a Y in the chat box if you are fine with that? Because again, students, if you generally see the brand positioning, in this case may not get sincerely affected. They may have black tea, but black tea is the original product. Like Coca-Cola, if you generally see, Coca-Cola is anyway the main product. But Pepsi is also a beverage. Sorry, Sprite is also a beverage. But still, Sprite is also having their niche. So that is the idea here. There can be a brand issue only if you are directly competing with your product. But here you are not directly competing because you are specifically mentioning it's an infusion. So infusion can be a new portfolio. That's the difference here. Like toffee and lollipop. Now, Malik, if you see lollipop and toffee, I cannot say that is generally competing with each other. You get what I'm saying, Malik? Because it will be again confectionery. Are you clear with that one?
Yes.
So students, get this point of view very clearly on the residual value, how you are going to sustain the profits, how you are going to sustain the efficiency, and how you are going to manage the cycle. So coming to the final one. So I'll write down here, capturing residual value. So I'll write down a note on that. So capturing residual value. Generally, piping concentrates on providing tea at high quality, where the premium are added. So get this application very, very well, students. Capturing value is generally piping concentrates on providing tea at high quality where premiums are added. So I'll continue here. Further, there are also situations where the consumer decides whether they have a value addition. So I'll write down here, therefore, the ginger infusion, the ginger infusion tea can generally have a premium value, provided the company has a high quality blending process, where the taste is at superior standard. Get this understanding very, very well, students. Therefore, in this case, we can assume that with proper implementation, the product can have a higher value. So I'll just write down a small sentence. So the ginger infusion can be a new portfolio that may be not affecting the current business model, but in the case of poor quality standards, the main product also can get affected. So students, get this understanding very, very well. Now this is business model, and there is high chances, students, you need to be very careful about the quality standard, because in the case of a poor quality standard, there is high chance, students, the product can get affected. Students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box if you are clear with that? Students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box if you are clear with that? Thank you very much, students. Thank you very much. So students, this is how you need to be very much specific, because as I always told you, you must read the past examination answers. You will always observe the style of writing is technical, but it is very much business based reports, I can generally say. So any questions you all have before moving into the accounting implication, you can ask me, students, because we are going to do the accounting implication next. So before moving into that, any questions you have, you can ask me, students. If you're fine with the way of writing, and if you're clear the way of how you are thinking relevant to the case study, it's important. So can I quickly get a Y in the chat box as a response if you are clear with this explanation, students? If you are clear with this explanation, can I please get a Y in the chat box? Thank you. The person who is coming at AC Nagar at 6.641, can you please talk, if you do not mind? Can you reveal yourself, who you are? Because it was last class also, your name was not there. Is it possible? Can you quickly mention your name in the chat box? Anyone? The person in AC Nagar, can you please mention your name in the chat box? Please use your name when you are coming to the class. So I will remove you for today. Thank you. Okay, so students, now coming back to the session. So please observe the financial reporting implication we may face in the research and development cost. I need you to discuss the challenges with the solution to overcome. Now, this is a very tricky section because unfortunately, students generally go with IAS, IFRS only. But when you're writing the IAS, IFRS answers, you need to be very much vigilant on how you are writing it towards the business situation, because the business situation is critically important here. So can I ask a question from Malik? Malik, what do you think the challenges that is associated here? What is your point of view? What are you thinking? The challenges associated, Malik, if you don't mind.
Product could be a success or could be a failure. Then how the cost needs to be captured.
Okay. Any other point? Adil, anything that you like to think about and tell me?
Customer preferences.
No, this is financial reporting, FR.
I say
Yes, Luke, can you please tell me?
maybe the wastages. Since it's a
No.
new product.
No, that is also not a big challenge at the moment.
Classifying of the cost, whether it's a development.
No. This is where students fail this paper. The answer is there in the case study as well.
So the attempts taken to
No,
to get a successful product.
no. The answer is there in the screen, students. The reference material answer is there. I want you all to think and respond.
We need resource people to work on this research and development. So
Wrong. Malik, still you can't find out?
Thinking, sir.
Okay, so
I say
Douglas. Yes, Douglas. What is the financial reporting implication? You are not audible.
Yeah, so I was thinking about is it? I was trying to link is it a project. So
No.
yeah, but well, I'm still trying to think about it.
So I'll come to this point, Malik. Malik, now if you see, our company is a listed company. Do you agree with me? Yes, sir.
Yes.
Piping is a listed company. So in a listed company, IFRS is a rule, and generally disclosures needs to be very strong. That is the truth. Now the problem arises here is an informal team only has conducted this research. So when an informal team conducts a research, is that a properly planned research? That is the first question.
No.
And
No.
if an informal team conducts a research, do they have proper source documents for the expenses they would have incurred?
No.
So can there be a situation that there is no, I can say, hierarchical authority where is not there? So can I say the main challenge that has taken place here is the informal team has done this. Are you clear with that, Malik? Yes or no? And if you also see the organization structure, we discussed also in the SWOT analysis that we don't have a research and development team. Are you clear with that? So I think, Malik, even you all would have experienced this in your company. For example, Malik, when you contribute something to your company, Sometimes without source documents, you can't reimburse. Have you ever observed that in
Yes,
your?
sir. Yeah.
I think you all would have experienced that at least in your internship situation. You would have given something or you would have taken out something, but there is no source documents, especially taxis and the traveling costs. They would have not given any money. So the problems arises here is small informal thing. Now, can I get a response from Malit? Malit, do you feel the management case study has shifted from technical to very practical? Are you
Yes,
understanding
very
the
much.
point?
Very much.
Very much, right? Very much. So, Adil, are you understanding how the F2 has changed now? Are you getting that process, Adil?
Yes,
Because
sir.
you see, the people here, most of are working professional, and the advantage for you is you have experience. Now, in experience, I told you, even I has sometimes not collected money because I have no source documents. That's the practical thing that happens in our day-to-day life. So, Maunika, are you understanding how the FR works out in the paper now? Are you clear with that thing?
Yes, sir.
So, students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box if you are clear with that, students? Because that is very, very important, students. It's very, very important. You need to understand why it is important, students, because it's very, very important that this small informal team. And if you generally see a student who don't clear management case study will say, I have written a good marks and the feedbacks of CIMA is just provision and provision. But a small verb like this will entirely change your history of your results. So I'll write down here the the main challenge associated with the particular with the particular research is that the company has done the process in an informal manner. Therefore, there is a tendency on the reliability of the cost incurred, especially the source documents that are necessary for the proof. Therefore, as per IAS 38, these costs capitalized unless there is a formal measurement of the cost. So students, this is one of the major challenge that is taking place. Can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students, if you are clear with what I'm saying here? Because it's practical, students. It's very practical and very much practical. So look at the way I connected the answer. That is very much important at the end of the day, how the answers are getting connected. So I will further continue with another sentence so that it will be even easier for you. Now, one challenge is the cost incurred. That's a very bigger challenge that I can specifically say. Now, the next thing is, can I ask one more thing, Malik, if you don't mind? Now, Malik, the intention of this project was for goodness of the organization, correct, no, Malik? If I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. But when it comes to the audit, when there is an audit process or the company wants to give something, can there be a situation where there is lack of evidences to provide? And can there be a misconception by the shareholders that the funds are mismanaged?
Yes.
Correct, no? So I'll write
Correct.
down here, since there is no formal direction, there can be an issue during the audit process of the costs that have been incurred for the project. Further, in case if the auditors provide, except for opinion, there can be a situation the company shareholders may have a misunderstanding that the funds of the projects are mismanaged. Full stop. There can also be a situation the management held responsible for allowing such acts in the company. Students, this is a practical situation. This can happen anytime. So students, any questions you have, you can ask me. But if you're fine with that, can I quickly get a why in the chat box, students? There are so many things that you can write, but very clearly, the most important thing is there is no formal guidance. There is no formal guidance. Can I quickly get a why in the chat box, students? But you get the understanding very clearly, students. The answers are becoming practical. That means I'm not saying that you need to ignore your technical knowledge, but you need to have common sense. Now, Monica, just want to tell you one thing. The people with the technical knowledge only also cannot pass this paper. You get what I'm saying, Monica? Because
Yes, sir.
just keep it to your mind. So students, again, I'm repeating that people with only technical knowledge cannot pass this examination. The main reason why I'm saying that is when your technical knowledge is too much, your common sense will be going less. Adil, are you understanding what I'm mentioning here, Adil? Are you clear with this, Adil? Because I told you from the first day onwards, it is very much business related only. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, students. So students, this is a very good question on financial analysis. So the solutions to overcome the challenges. Now, Malik, what are the solutions that we can have in overcome this challenge?
So we can create a professional third-party consultancy.
No, we need to create our own research and development unit. You get what I'm saying? Because at the moment, there is no research and development unit. So the best solution, if your company has potential to go forward, it should have research and development unit. Are you clear with what I'm saying there, Malik? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So one solution. Now see, Malik, the answer you gave, external consultant, is correct. But is it relevant to the situation as a finance manager? No. I think students make a note of that discussion what I'm having with Malik. Because again, telling students this question answer, whatever we learn in the class, you need to unlearn. But in the exam day, again, remember the techniques because you need to write the answer which are relevant to the situation. So I'll write down here. The management can form a new department for research and development where the process can be very much transparent and formal. Therefore, all the costs are properly documented so that in case of a research being success of commercial and technical feasibility, and in case if the development can generate economic benefits, then in accordance with IAS 38, it can be capitalized. Are you clear with what I'm saying there, students? Students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box if you are clear with what I'm saying there? Now, get the point of view very, very well. This is a practical situation, students, real life situation, nothing related to the books, very practical. So that is one more thing. And the other one is in the annual general meeting, we can generally request the shareholders to allocate some funds for the research and development, and based on the acceptance, we can invest on new projects, and therefore the audits can be transparent, and also the shareholders' confidence can be enhanced. Full stop. Students, I think this is one of a super answer. So get the point of view, students, how you need to think, because if you can think properly in the exam day, you can pass. Only that, students. Again, I'm telling you, even I will ask a question from Malik. Malik, you see the answer what we have developed for this IAS 38. Did I mug up the points and write, Malik?
So it's a real twist
No.
on the word from small form.
If you see the F2 or the F1 written exam in the old syllabus, that is purely mugging. Correct, normally. They give you a situation, you write the technical factors and you connect it. But
Correct.
here they are moving more into a management level where they are already knowing that we know the criteria. It's not an issue. But what is the application? Are you clear what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
that application to the scenario is important. And students, in your notebook, if wherever possible, you write a small note, if you don't mind, regarding this informal team. Because students, anyone in the class or anyone in the exam day who has missed this informal team, because you read fast, you read it on the screen. Okay, but in case if you miss this informal team, that means effectively you will be scoring somewhere around 72 to 78. Vishnu, are you clear with what I'm saying there, Vishnu? Because be very, very vigilant in your exam day. Ravi Kumar, please be vigilant in the exam day. These 1-2 verbs can affect your entire answers. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So students, question and answer session. I'll start from Adil. Adil, any questions for the day?
No, sir.
Douglas, any questions for the day? Luke, any questions for the day?
Yes, sir. I'm not sure. Maybe it's one of the additional on the challenges where there was an absenteeism regarding the research and development director. So in terms of the approval now, in terms of the cost, is there no challenges of redoing because there was the approval stage of it? The research and development manager was not involved.
Correct. But the thing is, even though if they are not involved, there needs to be some superior who is directly monitoring it. It cannot be done informally in a corporate governance point of view. of a listed organization. It can be done in a private company, not in a public limited company. Are you clear with that?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, Malit, any questions for the day?
No, sir. Clear.
Maunika, any questions?
No, sir.
Ravi Kumar, any questions?
No, sir. Thanks.
Thank you. Vishnu, any questions? Thank you. So thank you, students. So I will again do another mock on the Saturday class. So thank you very much for your time. Good night, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.